Welcome back, guys, to Phoenix Wright Justice for All as we head into the courtroom. For this case, Maya, however, looks to have escaped her hostage situation. So let's see how this develops from here. Do we even have to win the case? Adrian did it? That's what it looks like. Dude, no way! That woman couldn't do anything like that. In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there is someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lawyer, dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. I understand. Well, it's almost time. Who's this? Ah, Mia. You're going in with me? Mia, you must get a complete acquittal today. I know, but I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed. Well, let's get going. Except we get called right here and now. It's him. This is Wright. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney, the day of the trial. Maya, she's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how shall we say, tired. Don't worry, people don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. For my sake, as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give to me? You'll figure it out once the trial starts. And even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest, if you please. Wait! The kidnappers sent me a present? Mr. Lawyer, dude? Who was that? No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude, did your nose just get longer? What is this present? Please don't be forged stuff. Please don't be rubbish testimonies. You don't win with falsehoods. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt Engarde. Are the prosecution and defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution's missing, Your Honor. I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma? I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Your Honor. Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma has... This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman. What? Shot? That's the present? That's not good. Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. His present? Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage. But this is totally insane! Miss Von Karma, is she alright? I don't have that answer. She's alive and in stable condition. That's good. Phew. I thought he'd show up. Your Honor. Due to the circumstances, Miss Francisca Von Karma cannot be in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready. Naturally. Miss Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Luckily, I have looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt Engarde. The court acknowledges the prosecution. Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. Witness, your name and occupation. My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down on the precinct. For now. For now? After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. Detective Gumshoe. The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir! Now, let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight. Yeah, it would have to be if Edgeworth was my opponent. The answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. First of all, we get the bare facts of the case. Pressing and not really presenting to in general. This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes Award ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Clarida, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. That's a weird testimony anyway. After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room? Yes, sir. Both the victim and defendant went alone to their rooms, sir. I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. As we learn the bare facts of the case. Right, so the murder happened after the Hero of Heroes Award ceremony, sir. Hold it. Press it all. Find out the information. See if there's anything we can get. Would you please give us a brief timeline of what happened after the ceremony? Okay, pal. The ceremony started at 6 PM. It ended around 8 PM, and then there was a short break. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later. And that's when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say the murder occurred during that 30-minute break period. Please continue with your testimony, detective. The victim, Juan Clarida, was found dead in his hotel room, sir. Hold it. The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct? Yeah. Who is this Adrian Andrews you're talking about? She's a defendant, Matt Engarde's manager. She's a pretty lady, sir. Ah, so she's a pretty lady. I wonder if she will grace us with her presence. When the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. Engarde. After visiting his room, she went next to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir. I see, and that's when she found the victim's body. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. Hold it. The cause of death? Wasn't that because Mr. Clarida was stabbed in the chest? Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Now a real pro's attention would be drawn here to this bandana. Banana? His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped around tightly around his neck, sir. Ah, yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana. Then what about the knife? It seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death. We have a crafty murder on our hands here, but nothing that we didn't really expect or just point out at the time that couldn't have been the murder weapon. A bandana, though, didn't even see. Right, the autopsy report has been added to the court record. He was strangled. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. Hold it! And why did you think that? Because it was empty, pal. The Jammin' Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar, and we couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime. Oh, then how about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that? We thought of that too, but... The only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims. Only the victims, huh? I see. Ah, so much for my theory then. So the guitar case has been updated in the court record. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. I need to press that. First order of business should be to gather more info from his testimony. But there might be a trap set up for us somewhere. Maybe. However, setting off traps is a part of a lawyer's job too. If you say so. Of course. We're supposed to escape from them too, wouldn't you say? It's the last bit I need to press. Yeah. I just pressed A instead. What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case? The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night. Well then, where was it? The bright red guitar was eventually found in the TV studio. The victim, Juan Corrida, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir. So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. So that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel? Yeah, that's right. So really had nothing to do with the case after all. I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt Engarde? Because there was reason enough to suspect him. Here it comes. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing. Very well, Detective Gumshoe. Please testify about this matter. Yes, sir. Why do you look so downtrodden, though? Matt Engarde and Juan Corrida were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the jamming ninja's button. It was ripped off of the ninja's costume and was found in Mr. Engarde's hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. Yeah, because it came from his room. The defendant brought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. He didn't buy the knife for the crime. It was just there in the hall, in the room. It was just cutlery. So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing. It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir. Right, the knife has been submitted as evidence now. And there's this button. That was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And is this button also covered in blood? Yes, we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir. What? Well, we kind of expected that, Phoenix. Keep up the program. All of this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, Wright? I'll find the hole in your argument somehow. You can press as hard as you like, just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. You should be happy he's teasing you. He's back, your friend-ish, kinda. An adversary and rival. Matt Engarde and Juan Corrida were huge rivals with each other. Press everything, find out where we need to go. And in terms of popularity, Mr. Engarde won, did he not? Yeah. But you know what's ironic, pal? Juan Corrida was always one step behind Mr. Engarde in everything. This year it seemed like he'd finally caught up, ready for the big final showdown. But Mr. Corrida lost the Grand Prix in the end. That is too bad. He must have been pretty downhearted after losing. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. Hold it! Wait just 1 second here. Mr. Engarde was beating Mr. Corrida in the popularity polls. Well, yeah, I guess, but... Which means that in the defendant's eyes, the victim was not a rival at all. Which means he had no motive to kill at all. Yes, I quite agree. Well, detective? It's not. Well, I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, the defendant would have had no motive. Objection! Detective, I'm beginning to see why you were fired. No, not you too, Mr. Edgeworth, sir! That's... I look forward to your pension negotiations. No! Now, detective, let's continue with the testimony. No, not my poor pension too. Detective, if you value your money, I suggest you proceed. Yes, sir. We can talk about my pension later, sir. What about what I was saying? Hello? Anyone? As for evidence, there's the Jamming Ninja's button. No, I want to see that. Hold it! Press, not pass. Do you have any proof that button belonged to the victim? Huh? What do you mean, pal? Oh, let me put it this way. I'm asking you if you have any evidence to back up your claim that, this button was ripped off of the jamming ninja's costume. Huh? Can't you tell by just looking at it? And the victim's blood is on it. Anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterward. Mr. Edgeworth, help me, sir! Right, I knew it had to be this piece of evidence. Now to reel this one in. You're just going to point out the photo? It's rubbish. Fred. Huh? The button was attached to the costume by Fred. Obviously. And that Fred snapped when the button was torn off. If you match up the ends of the Fred on the costume with the Fred on the button, it's a perfect match. Yeah, that's it. A perfect match, pal! Oh. That's Edgeworth for you. Never misses a beat. It was ripped off with the ninja costume and was found in Mr. Engarde's hakama. When was this button found? Pretty soon after the body was found. We rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Kurita. And then we did a search on them all. That's when we found the button. So it was almost immediately after the murder. The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks, unlike some people. Hey, what is he trying to say about me here? The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. Hold it! How were the fingerprints arranged on the knife? Huh? What do you mean, pal? By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand? Oh, is that what you meant? Well, we didn't actually think of that. I can't believe the bumbling of this department. Hopeless. Were you paying attention to the testimony, Wright? The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. There is no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the murder. So is the defendant the owner of this knife, then? I don't think he was the owner. The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. This is silly. There is no way this was a premeditated murder, even if he bought the knife. Sorry, pal. This isn't some pocket knife. It doesn't fold, so it's not great for walking around with either. Ah, well, this is not good. If the prosecution can prove it was a premeditated murder, we're done for. Phoenix. Yes? There's something very interesting about what the detective said just now. Oh? Think carefully, before it's too late. What am I really going for here? A button covered in the victim's blood and a knife with Engarde's fingerprints. Be grateful. If the judge were more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing. We're still in a world of trouble. Well, before any battle, you must find your enemy's weakness. So let's find the weakness in this testimony, no matter how small it may be, okay, Phoenix? I'd have thought I just got information from this one, but it seems that the knife is the point. And I mean, it's part of the cutlery there. He didn't buy it, it was just there. In the gatewater is engraved. He didn't buy it at all. This is stupid. Wait a second. What? So the basis of your argument that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand. That's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife. Huh? Take a good look at the handle of this knife and you'll see what I'm talking about. Huh? It has a gatewater seal set into the handle. Gatewater? I think I've heard that name somewhere before. That's the name of the hotel. The Gatewater Hotel? Uh-oh. The murder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means this murder was not premeditated. Yes, that is very true. This is a very big... What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless. What? I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined. How so? I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough not to realize this. But I didn't know... Oh. The question is, where did this knife come from? Why, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Kurita's room. No, we know it didn't. Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table. A plate. The knife is there. There's a knife and fork on the table. Then, where in the world did this knife come from? Well, we already know. It came from Matt Engarde's room. Further incriminating us, but it does kind of help us if we want to twist this into a someone else or certain someone else did it angle. Let's continue on with this next time on Justice for All, as we, well, see how much we can take it away from our defendant and implicates a poor lady by the sound of it. We don't know how fast we'll get there, but it's definitely what we're going to be looking to do. Doubt is good in court. Getting innocent people in trouble is not so much if they are innocent or not. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.